Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hellish Hot Takes podcast. We were going to do more of an anime kind of theme for this week's episode, but it seems like it's a lot of stuff going on in the gaming world right now that we want to talk about and give our impressions on.
I'm so upset.
The first one I want to kind of talk about and kind of get into is the whole Overwatch 2 canceling their own PvE.
I wanted to play the story because I liked the story of Overwatch.
That was like the whole. I got into Overwatch 2 for a little bit, and I was like, man, I'm like, because I downloaded it. That was the whole point of me even like downloading the game again. Was like, oh, I'm like going to go ahead and get used to Overwatch again, you know, for when the PvE content drops. It's just crazy, like the fact that it was like 4 years. This was 4 years in the making, you know, and they're just like, oh yeah, we just don't care about it anymore. We're just done, you know. It's game over.
Yeah. The game is still. You can still play the game.
Yeah, you can
right?
still play the game, but it's just basically like now it's just a glorified patch for Overwatch 1. Like nothing's different, you know.
Jesus.
They're still like going through,
and they're just not going to release it.
Yeah, I guess they're just like, nah, we're just done with it. Which I just don't understand why at that point. Like, I don't know, I feel like they're going to lose a lot of their player base here soon because just a lot of people that were holding out for the PvE content. Like that's the whole reason they've stuck around this long, and now they're just like, you know, we're just done with it. Like we just don't feel like doing it anymore. We don't feel like it belongs in the game. And I'm like, what was the point of Overwatch 2 then? It was just to like. You know, because people transferred over and like, you know, most of their skins and stuff were supposed to transfer over. But I know a lot of people that still had issues where they didn't get certain skins, like most of their skins back.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think I got most of mine, but I think I missed some of them.
They took out loot boxes, which like a lot of people were actually kind of upset about, which I understand because
it was because like that was the whole thing with Overwatch. And I understand why Wizards of the Coast / Battle.net / whatever, right? Whatever their game developing studio was called, did switch from loot boxes because when Overwatch 2 came out, a lot of games were coming out with battle passes, and that was the trend, right? But like at the time, most Overwatch players were dedicated Overwatch players, and they had been saving up their currency for loot boxes.
Well, because they just had like it was just a better way to go about getting skins too. It's like you could open up a loot box and you got 4 items, right? Wasn't it 4?
No, it was 3.
I mean, still though, but
it might have been 4. I'm thinking we just got done playing Apex, man. I might still be thinking of Apex's.
But it's like a lot of them. Like they did like the One Punch Man collab for Overwatch 2, you know, and like a lot of the skins just suck. Just to be honest, like a lot of them just suck. They just blow. Like Overwatch 1 had so much better skins.
Really bad. I mean, and then they were reusing skins from Overwatch 1 and re-releasing them. Like during last year's Halloween event, they just reused a lot of the skins for the Halloween characters and re-released them.
How do you feel about battle passes? Like, honestly, I'm getting really, really bored with them. Like, I don't know. I've been bored with them for a while.
I don't like them.
Before I thought it was a pretty cool way to get skins, but now it's just, you know, really a really greedy way to get money out of people. I mean,
so my real take on battle passes is they're just extended loot boxes where if you either don't grind the game, which you can also do with loot boxes, or if shell out cash, you don't get the things they're offering. And I'm like, and I understand that the cosmetics are a way for companies to make money, but like, I don't want to spend. I've played and this is my thing here. Like, I'm a free player on Apex, right? And this is just an example. I have been playing for a very long time. I've never even gotten a heirloom shard, let alone an heirloom.
I don't think I've gotten any since I restarted. Like on Xbox when I first started playing, like I did have back when there was only one heirloom and it was race. I did end up getting that relatively quickly. I think I got it within my first 100 packs.
I think you also ended up pulling the axe for Bloodhound, but we're getting off topic.
I mean, but yeah, on my.
But yeah, I'm like they just feel like the same thing to me. Same thing, same results, different method.
On my my PC account though, like I was saying, I haven't gotten any heirlooms on there, and I'm like, I don't play on it very often, but I am like level 200, so it's just you know, it's weird. But now the fact that you can just like have to pay $160 for an heirloom most times is just it's getting out of hand. It really is. Like the fact that these companies are like going through this.
I have over 1,000 combined hours between both platforms. I don't even have a shard.
The fact that these companies are doing such like, and all of them are doing it too, like Valorant, and you got Apex, like every company's doing it, where it's like it's more about the skins than it is about the gameplay. And I understand it's a free-to-play game, you know, and they need a way to make money, but there's other ways to make money. You can still you can still do skins and still update your game to where it's, you know, more fun, more playable.
Yeah, but it's also like they do this so they don't have to resort to like ads and stuff.
I mean, honestly, I'd kind of be into that for the most part. Like if you, ads. I mean, well, like what's the point? Like you more watch like a small little ad for like maybe like a pack or something. Like you watch like maybe you get one ad per day.
That's what Hearthstone does, or used to do at least. You could still be able to watch ads for Wizards of the Coast, and they'd give you a pack every ad you watched. The ads could range from 30 seconds to 5 minutes.
There's a company out here that's doing something they're starting up where they're sending out they're trying to send out a free TV. It's like a 55-inch 4K TV, but the caveat to it is like you have to they send you a separate bar. Like it's kind of like a little mini TV. It's like a big it's like a long rectangle. It's like the same length of the TV, but it's maybe like a fourth of the height of the TV, and you just put it. It is like comes attached underneath the TV. You set it up, and it's just a bar that just runs ads, and that's how they give it to you for free.
Well, I mean, basic cable and stuff and regular TV is dying. Like we got to be honest here, it's dying for years. With the advent of streaming services and all that stuff, and just paid for programming so you don't have to watch ads. Regular commercials are becoming more and more expensive for companies to run because and becoming less and less effective. It's more effective to do online streaming, which is also contributing to the death of normal television.
Yeah, I think we're just kind of doing a big circle at this point, though. It's like, you know, because every site, every channel really that was like on cable, like HBO, you know, like, and the bigger ones like those are just making their own streaming services now. Specifically, it's basically just their channel, but you just pay for it, and it just has exclusive shit on there. Only difference is, not all, like some of them don't have ads just because they make all their money from the subscription.
Well, some of them are pay only, some of them are free and pay, and some of them are free. Yeah. Whenever you take the free option, there's ads in it so they can get money out of you. If you're paying to not see the ads, but the company still makes money from ads because technically they're playing, but you just don't see them.
There was that. There's like DBD has been throwing out some major W's lately with all their content.
You know, you say that, but like I saw like 4 videos from major DBD content creators that are like, they've ruined themselves in the new 7th anniversary by all these sneak peeks and shit. And I'm like,
it was a couple leaks.
Get over yourself.
From what I heard, there's at least like 6 confirmed moles in the actual DBD like team. Apparently, like there's like
what did you expect?
There's always going to be moles, man. Like that, because that's free. Yeah.
You don't have to look at the leaks.
That's free views. That's, I mean, honestly, I kind of like leaks. I like being able to prepare. Like, can you imagine if they didn't have they didn't have character trailers? You know what I mean? Like, what if they just dropped a new Survivor with no trailer, and it's just like you don't even know if their perks are even good? You know,
that would be insane.
You got to spend all your points to find out.
But also, you got to think like, if you don't want to be spoiled, you don't have to be spoiled.
It's no one's forcing you to watch it. It's just your own curiosity that's causing you to click that video.
And I know sometimes accidents happen. You're just flipping through like shorts or TikTok, and like a little leak video will pop up. That's what happens as we're living in the day and age of information sharing. It's going to happen
everywhere.
But like, you don't have to get butthurt over it and be angry over it about leaks that, for the most part, you can ignore.
And my thing about it is too, like, if you really don't want to see it, then you just need to get off social media, which is honestly better for your health anyways in the long run.
I mean, truly, if you truly don't want to be spoiled in any way for anything you love, turn off your computers until the date that it's released, and then turn them back on, and you'll be totally.
Because anyone that's leaking stuff on like seconds. Twitter is also leaking it on like, you know, Facebook and YouTube, and like because it's like it's all about the views. You know, they're leaking it because it's free clout. You know what I mean? Like it's free views.
Yeah, and like if they're doing it on YouTube and stuff, that's like money for them. They're getting paid.
And like on TikTok too, I think you make enough, if you get enough views and likes on TikTok, you also get some money for that. There's like a TikTok creator thing.
Yeah, they have a creator fund as well. It's not very good from what I understand.
I love all of it. I'm super hyped because all the leaks and shit like that. Like I'm prepared for when like all this new stuff drops, like the new Killer, Survivor, Nicolas Cage being a new survivor in the game. I'm hoping his perks are good.
We gotta talk about the Nicolas Cage
really
stuff. That is cool.
I really hope his perks are good. I'm so excited for that.
And you know, I've never met Nicolas Cage, and I probably never will. And I have no idea what he's like in person. But like, if the man believed his own hype, I wouldn't blame him because the hype is real.
It's such a crazy thing. It was like its own trailer and everything, and I was like, well, I wonder what the new
he made box office hit about a movie about himself making friends with a dictator that he needed to kill by playing himself.
But there's that, and then like the Supermassive Games announcing that they're making the company that does Until Dawn and like all those games that they're doing a Dead by Daylight. It's a separate game, you know, which I'm okay with. Like a lot of people are upset because it's not.
Is it a separate game? I thought they were just going to put it as like a new.
Apparently, there's two spin-off games. I don't know what the second one is right off, but the first one is at least the story-based Dead by Daylight game.
A lot
of people are mad because it's a separate game that you have to pay for, but I'm like, well, like, what do you expect? It's not the same company making the game; it's a different company. Like, they got to make their money too, and it's just like
it's officially endorsed though, right?
Yeah. Well, my thing too is like, do you really want like an extra 30 gigs thrown on top of your already huge DBD file? Like, is that really what you want?
No.
You want to install like a DBD version of Warzone? Is that what you want? It's like it's separate for a reason.
We actually talked about that a few days ago. I'm like, I don't want it to be like that.
Yes. Oh my god, dude, it's crazy. Like, what was it? The Star Wars game, I think, was like, wasn't that like 80 or 100 gigs? The new Star Wars Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor?
Jedi Survivor is the newest one.
Which I got for free when I bought my AMD card. Have not touched it. Have not touched it. I heard it had some really bad performance issues on PC as well.
The game looks great. Yeah. I've seen some clips of it, and it looks fun, and it looks great. But like, I've heard it's got some glitches.
Well, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken,
glitches.
No, that was Redfall. It was logged at 30 FPS on release. Yeah, that was
that's
the biggest mistake you could ever made.
Dear God,
I'm super stoked for like the anniversary. The anniversary looks okay. I always like doing the anniversary just because all the free blood points you get, and I always stack anniversary items. You know me, I still have like 100 cakes from the last anniversary. But I'm excited. And then the biggest thing for me was the announcement of excuse me.
Finally taking a stand against space
trying to, at least. Like, they're not saying it's
they're trying.
It's not guaranteed, but they are going to prototype it, probably doing it in a PCB here soon. But that is
because like if they don't do it right, this new system is going to be very easily abusable. And if like they fail the first time, I get it. I just hope they don't.
It seems like they actually are on the right path with it, with the basic thing being like, the survivors get hooked and they have a bar that goes up depending on how close or far the killer is, which they haven't said if there's like an end range, like if the killer can get out of range and the bar just doesn't go up at all, or what basically that is, or if it's just constantly going up. It just, the speed of it is just depending on how far you're going.
And I imagine one of the ways that the whole prototype is like people trying to use that as like a healing buff, like so like killer's trying to get one person's timer to go out because other people are being annoying, right? And he's chasing other people. He's trying to stay away, but people like other survivors will drag him to that to make him lose chase and force chase losses.
Well, that was the thing about that, though. They thought about that. That was because the bar is supposed to fill up, and then even in tier 2, you're supposed to be able to get yourself off the hook. And they said it's basically going to be like a deliverance thing when you get yourself off, and it said it's supposed to act like it's still like a normal heal. So perks that involve unhooking are still supposed to proc, and then obviously power time is integrated into the game now. It's not just its own perk; it's just part of it.
And the whole point I was going to make was like they'll probably be like if you're doing something, if the game detects you're doing something like that, the rather than stopping the death meter, it'll like increase its speed or something.
But it was like if it detects survivors in the range of the hook with the killer, like if they were, I don't know if it's like if they were there when the person got hooked or if they just come into it, then it like I think it pauses the timer if a survivor is in range of it. And the killer's
they'll have to make that timer like not visible to anyone but the person on the hook.
Essentially, yeah, like that. Well, I mean, maybe it really depends because you got to think of the solo players.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Because, well, yeah, but like, because if the killer can see it, then the killer can use that against you. And if the survivors can see it, then toxic survivor groups can use that against you. My thing about it,
which I don't know if they've thought of yet or not, is they'd have to then space out the hooks a pretty decent distance away from generators.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. One of the biggest problems for me in DBD is like the wiggle mechanic is pointless.
I mean,
unless under very specific conditions.
You got to run certain perks for it. To be honest, like it's really you have to run like a whole.
Okay, you have to run a build on it, and even then, 90% of the time, it still doesn't.
That's my
work.
thing with it too. Is like most of the shit for survivors is just useless. It really is. Like flashlights are so finicky. It's. Most people that get the flashlight stuns are getting them while the killer's in the animation of breaking something or vaulting something. It's never just like you're never just running with the killer behind you and you flip around flashlight them
and using that to get away.
You're going to take that hit. It's like you got to catch them in the animation of something. You know, like you got to leap
because it doesn't like it's not like it stops their animations if they're like trying to hit you or something. And
then medkits are iffy. You know, like they just went through that big change and then they reverted it back. I don't know how it is now. If they just completely threw all those changes out of the window or if they kept some of them.
I have no idea. We haven't played in a while. Yeah, so
toolboxes have
we'll find out when we play again.
Toolboxes to me have always been useless. Like even.
I don't mind toolboxes. I like them for a little speed boost, but I also like bringing fast repair builds because, and I'll probably keep saying this on this podcast, I don't like the fact that there's no timer in a game and the game can go on for hours.
Yeah. Well, that was the big issue. I think they're actually trying to look into at this point. You don't see Prop Night doing anything like that, to be honest. Like they're just kind of like, you know, like the maps are smaller and the gens are kind of closer together, so it's like it's really.
And I don't think that that if the base timer runs out, that either side should win. I think it should be a draw, right? Unless like or maybe integrate a point system that like, well, this guy did this and this and this and he was closer and obviously this side drug it out to try and prevent a win, right? So this side still deserves.
I think it really depends. They'd have to come up with some kind of point system, I think, like you were saying, because imagine so the matches are usually like 10 or 15 minutes and we're talking about Prop Night for anyone listening, if you kind of lost where you were, and you get down to like maybe the last 5 minutes or maybe the last 2 minutes, say the last 2 minutes, and like maybe there's only 2 of you left, you know, and you maybe 3-gen yourselves, and now instead of just taking the loss, those 2 people can just hide as props, which is infinitely easier to do than actually doing any of the machines. And then it would come
unless the killer is cheating, and then he'll just eventually find them by and this is me doing air quotes accident.
Yeah, but it happens, but it's not as bad. It's not like 100% of the time, you know. But it's still like in certain matches, I can see the survivors taking advantage of that because the killer obviously they can't take advantage of it because if they don't fuck with you, like if they don't chase you off the generators, then you just lose. But survivors, if you're on your way to losing but you're still alive and the killer doesn't know where you are, you could just hide for that time and then it drags it out into a draw. Getting back on the topic of DBD, when it comes to toolboxes, I never really thought they were that great. They're definitely sabotaging is the most useless thing I think you can do in that game.
Unless you are God King on the ball, it is the most useless.
Unless you have like Giga Brain and you can predict the killer's movements when they pick a survivor up and you know exactly where they're going, like.
And I know there's like the super Giga Brain build you can use that makes you faster than the killer when he's carrying someone, so you can get ahead of him and makes the makes it so you break hooks in like 2 seconds.
But you have to make sure you're pretty far ahead,
like,
because him hitting you while you're working on the hook, like you might be able to buy enough time for that person to wiggle off if they're really good at it, but you're probably going to go down in an exchange if at minimum take a hit, and now you're going to be in the injured state. And once that person jumps off the shoulder, he's going to be targeting you, because now you have the toolbox.
He's either going to be targeting you or he's going to go back. It depends on who he.
I think he's going to go with that. Me personally, I'd go with the guy with the toolbox, because then if you down the other guy, you have the same chance of the same guy that just broke that hook doing it again to you, and now you're just losing time.
Also, Franklin's Demise makes any item-based build completely.
See, I have a huge love and hate relationship with that. As a survivor, I hate that shit. It's super toxic. But as a killer, I understand why people use it, because like,
yeah, no, I 100% as a killer, I understand why you use it, and then as a survivor, I despise
people
it.
that 4-stack flashlights in a game are the scum of the earth. Like
the absolute scum. In they don't need to die; they just need to leave DBD and go find like therapy or something.
But yeah, I don't like if you're running a survival with friends thing for DBD, I can see stacking the toolboxes together with the best perks, with the best add-ons you can, and then it's a real problem, because then you can do gens super crazy fast. If you're coordinated. But if you're running solos, like toolboxes just aren't really worth it, especially because if you use a whole toolbox on a gen,
not unless you're point hunting. Toolboxes are great for point hunting, because you can modify toolboxes with their add-ons to give you like more skill checks. That really depends on
the game, because it could be good for point hunting, but points do cap after a while. If that game goes on forever, you know, if it's like one of those really drug out games.
But again, that's going to drag me back into a conversation of DVD need to figure out a system for timing the game so they don't drag on for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I don't want to sit in a game for 2 hours so I can wait in the lobby for an hour for another game. That's 3 hours between games. Give me a half-hour DVD game and I'm pretty happy. But like, again, time limit would solve that problem.
Yeah.
DBD game time limits. I'm okay with a half-hour time limit or even a 45-minute time limit.
Yeah. But the problem is,
as long as I'm not sitting there for 2 hours and then have to wait another hour for DBD's lobbies to load another game. If they were to do time limits,
I think they'd have to do something about the regression perks, because that was the thing I was going to say too, is when it comes to like doing a toolbox on a gen when you're solo,
start giving perks like make like a classification system and start giving limits on certain types of perks. Like killers can only have one regression perk in their kit, one heal reduction perk, or whatever.
I don't know, that had to be very specific, because a lot of reduction perks aren't great by themselves. You have to run them with other ones for them to proc correctly. But a
lot of reduction perks are actually better with like non-reduction perks that just help them proc more often.
But what I was saying is like the whole, like as a solo, if you go on with like a good toolbox and you're not just point farming, you know, it's basically useless for the most part, because if you can't use it in a way, like if you start a gen with it, chances are that gen's going to get kicked. And honestly, the amount of progress you get from a good toolbox before it breaks can kind of be taken away completely with one killer kick without any perks on most of the time. On top of that, it's just pretty bad. Like the items are just not really well balanced for survivor. When you're solo, when you're survivor with friends, they can be really overpowered.
I mean, when you're survivor with friends, you could take the fucking worst item in the game, all have fucking yellow flashlights, and still be the menace of Earth itself.
Yeah. But we talked about we got into the spin-off games, and then, you know, that was the first change. The other one is they're talking about adding bots when Survivor's DC and match.
So hyped for
that's going to be really cool, because we've been talking about that for a while.
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
When you get,
I'm glad they've been listening to people.
When you get in game, like, and you have someone, which we've had so many times, DC like within the first 15 seconds of the match, and
I get it. It sucks. You go down in the first 30 seconds of the game, but that doesn't mean the game is over.
Most people don't even go down. That was the thing. Like a lot of it was just they see who the killer is and they're like, nah, I'm done, and they just DC, and I'm just like, I don't understand. Like because they have a penalty system in there now, right? For leaving too often. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like
I think
you're
so.
taking like a minimum of 5-minute penalty, and it gets stacks.
You can get a ban.
Yeah.
You can get a ban if you do it too many times.
There's a lot of killers in that game I really don't like playing against, but I don't leave.
We still play against them.
We've had a lot of games, man, where we've actually managed to squeeze out a W when we had 1 or 2 people DC.
I mean, our most iconic, which no one will ever be able to see because we didn't record it, was the ring around the rosy. We gave that clown.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like if you're coordinated, it might not matter, but it is still suck losing a person. Like 'cause even if they're not a good person, like even if they really suck at the game, that's still extra body. So like that could distract the killer for at least a little bit of time.
It's the same thing I tell you when we're playing 3-stack with random on Apex, and you're just like, I fucking hate these fucking bad players that don't get a shot off. I'm like, it'd be worse if they just weren't here.
Yeah, but also we could just play duos because this is like, it's not the fact the player's bad.
Yeah, but that wasn't a thing at the time.
It's not the fact that the player's bad. It's the fact that like that's an extra person on the enemy team we have to deal with, and now it's a 2v3 essentially because they're just fucking ass. Yeah. I hate that. And when I found out about like the way Apex does their partnering system when you solo queue, oh my god, it explains so much.
Yeah, it puts you in a group of 3. It used to put you in a group of 3 solos.
Yeah, but no, it didn't used to put you in a group of 3. So it could be duos or maybe solos. But the way it did it was like it would be the way they would sort it out is they would be a high skill, a medium skill, and a low skill player is how they did their groupings.
The skill stuff.
And I was always wondering, like, I'm not the best player at Apex, but I can tell when I'm outperforming someone and they really should be at least landing some shots because they're sitting here going through like 10 clips of their gun and maybe hitting for like 50 damage total, and I'm like, how is this even possible when I go through one clip and I hit for 200 damage?
I'm slightly worse than you at Apex, and still we get into lobbies and we'll get a teammate and he'll empty both of his guns mags and only get like 20 damage at the end of the fight.
If you're a good player at Apex, that is the most gaslighting system I've ever seen in a video game. Like that is the fastest way.
Oh man, it was funny when we first learned about it.
I've seen some crazy Apex rage, bro. Like more intense than most other shooters. It's crazy.
And then I think the hardest I laughed was the one time the kid got on the mic after he died immediately after leaving us in, I think we were on Kings Canyon and we were in market, and he immediately left after we cleared our market and then died as he was leaving the building.
Getting on the mic. The fact that like I love this shit too, because adding an in-game mic system to a game, I think is the most toxic shit you could ever do to any kind of competitive game. Like,
did you ever play Prop Night solo and then have mic on?
Oh, it's not just Prop Night. Like, it's not just solo and Prop Night. It's just like anytime you play Prop Night, dude. It's that shit was so that was so wild to me that they did that. I was like, oh, they're doing DBD, and I was like, they did that, and I'm like, there's a reason DBD never did this. Like, this is.
There's a reason DBD never did this.
Breeds toxicity, dude. It's ridiculous.
When there's a system, when you're playing a group versus juggernaut game, and it is going to be toxic. It's like voice chat is going to be toxic.
It's like you don't need to be giving every 12-year-old on Twitter like a microphone. That's a bad idea.
It's very
like
bad.
Twitter's only text based for the most part. Like people just tweet, and that shit is bad most times. That shit gets super toxic.
Yeah.
But going back, so we got through all that. Yet in the whole DC system like that, it's really cool. But it's also weird how it's like we've been complaining about this for years, and it's just like we're in year 7 now, and now it's just finally getting taken care of.
Well, they only did just add the AI system, the bots recently.
Yeah, but the camping system on top of that too. It's like that's something that could have been added earlier. Like at least tried to be dealt with a little bit more. I know they tried dealing with it a little bit with incorporating borrow time into just like everyone's kit by default.
Yeah, making that part of the starting.
Which was really cool, but it didn't get rid of tunneling for the most part. Like you could still just follow.
No,
like
tunneling will still be a thing.
A little bit. I think there's definitely ways they could go about getting rid of it.
And like, and don't get me wrong, I don't think they need to get rid of tunneling, because at some points in a game, you just have to get one person out.
I think an easy way to like discourage people from doing it is just give them a point penalty at least for downing the same person like in a row. You know.
I think that there should be a timer on it as well. Like downing the same person in a row within the first, like, I don't know, I'm going to say 45 seconds of getting off the hook.
But what would the penalty be? Because I could see
a loss of points.
Oh, yeah.
Loss of blood points or whatever you wanted to make it.
I just say blood points. Because if you were doing anything more extreme than that, I can see people like abusing it. Like if, say, maybe they can't be downed for 30 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, no, that would be no.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going. I was like, no, don't go that way.
No,
that'd be so bad.
No, that'd be abusable immediately.
But yeah, I'm excited for the future DBD. I'm also excited to see where like there's other games coming out. The whole ASIM thing, Outlast Trials just dropped. People say it's really good. I've seen some videos of it.
What is Outlast Trials? Oh yeah, no, that's the multiplayer Outlast game.
It looks pretty alright. Like people are really having a good time with it.
I'm not interested in playing Outlast at all. That game is not for me.
I don't mind a little bit of horror, like scary shit in my games, but I don't want like the whole experience to just be like terrifying.
What is this you have in our topics about quitting Star Rail?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I have basically just quit it. Like I got really bored, honestly. The whole gacha effect.
You were so hyped for that game.
Yeah, but honestly, like I've played and I've unlocked the like characters that just make the game easy mode, and I've actually gotten to the point where I'm caught up on the main story, which is really disappointing that it was so short, and they didn't even finish it with like a boss battle. It was just like dialogue, and it's just like, oh yeah, part 2 is not out yet. Like, go do side missions.
Oh, man, reminds me of Raven's Watch. I'm so hyped for the 31st.
Oh, yeah, Raven's Watch. Yeah, another thing I want to get into is, like, speaking of Ravens, a new game came out. Well, not new. It was on mobile for a while. I think it just finally came to PC. It has its own, like, in-game app thing, like its own launcher, like Genshin and Honkai do.
Yeah.
And it's...
I can't download any more of those, man. They're ruining my computer.
It's Punishing Gray Raven, and I'm just going to go and, like, give my own personal take on this. That game sucks. Like, I don't know what was going on with that. Like, I played it on mobile for like 20 minutes to an hour, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like maybe like just a cool little hack and slash game, like a fun little beat 'em up. And then people are dropping like, this game's coming out, and they're like, oh, the Genshin killer, the Honkai Star Rail like destroyer, and I'm like, this game sucks. Like, this is basically just Honkai Impact. Like, it's like the same thing. You run around, you encounter enemies, and you just fight them. You have like different skill set. Like each character's have different skill. It's basically just Genshin, but just battling. There's like no real. I'm just like I don't know why people are so hype about this right now. I don't know. Like, gacha hype is just different. It really is. Like, people get hyped about these gacha games like it's, I don't really know how to describe, like it's GTA 6 kind of type shit. Like it's Titanfall 3.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm just,
oh god,
I'm just kind of like,
wait, still in the waiting room for Titanfall 3, man.
I get baited, man. And I'm like, oh man, everyone likes this game. Like, I'm gonna try it. And like, I was super into Genshin, and then I was into Honkai. Still think Honkai is cool. I think it's better than Genshin, honestly, in my opinion.
I think you have finally lost your interest in Genshin completely.
Oh yeah, I'm never going back. Going back, the equivalent to me going back to Genshin right now would just be like reading a fucking 2,000-page book. It'd be the same thing, like the same amount of dialogue. In like 2 chapters.
I reread stories all the time.
It's so like, and the story's not necessarily bad. It's just kind of told shitty, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just,
that's unfortunate.
It's just like, if I wanted to play a game like this, I'd just play like an actual, like an indie game, like a roguelike. You know, it's just more fun.
Yeah, you know, or like the story mode to DBD.
Speaking of hyped up games, Tears of the Kingdom came out, and that game deserves all the hype to me personally. Like,
it really does. Like I haven't played it yet, but like my only problem is people who are bashing it was expecting it to be different from the last Zelda game, the Wind, I can't remember what it's called. Breath of the Wild.
What were you about to say?
It is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. Yeah. It evolved from a DLC.
Yeah, and you said Wind, and I was like, you about to say the greatest Zelda game of all time, The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker? Because that's, in my opinion, that's the greatest Zelda game.
I never played Wind
Oh
Waker.
my god,
So
it's
I don't
so good.
know.
Like a lot of people hate it.
My opinion, the best Zelda game of all time was The Legend of Zelda for the NES Gold Edition,
Oh yeah, the
which I had when I
Link
was
to the
growing
Past.
up. No, the original Legend
the
of
gold
Zelda
cartridge?
for the NES Gold Edition for just the gray box Nintendo.
Yeah, that was A Link to the Past.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
it wasn't. That was just it was just the original game.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Promise you. I'm sure Link to the Past had a gold one, but I just played Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah, I guess the gold cartridge, I guess, is. Well, you said the one for the gray cartridge. Is that what you said? You said gold at first, but then you said gray.
No, the system was great. The original and Nintendo Home Entertainment, the Nintendo Entertainment System,
Okay.
the NES.
Yeah, you said you
not the Super
you then
Nintendo.
went to gray, and I was like, okay, well, the gray one is Link to the Past.
Yeah, the NES was gray.
Well, yeah, well,
and all the games were originally
both of them
gray.
were gray. Like the Super Nintendo is also gray.
Yeah, their cartridges were originally
the
gray.
original gold cartridges.
And they came out with one that was gold for the NES.
I had that one as well.
The Legend of Zelda gold cartridge is what I
don't think I played that one I think I played that one second. Though. I played the Super Nintendo one first.
Yeah, it was my dad's, and then he gave it to me when I was really young, so I played the hell out of that game.
Yeah, it's really good. They remade Link to the Past.
But like nostalgia not counted. I think I liked Ocarina of Time the most out of the ones I've played.
I really like Wind Waker though. Everyone like hates on Wind Waker, gets a lot of shit because like the art style they went with.
I've never played Wind Waker. I never played Wind Waker, so I don't have an opinion on it.
But it's like the art style they went with.
It looks
people
fine.
Really didn't like, and because it was like too cartoony, and we were coming from games like Ocarina of Time, and I think Twilight Princess as well, and people were just like, they had like this 3D rendered graphics and shit like that, and then you go to the GameCube, and it's
I would say Twilight Princess was my favorite, but I never actually played Twilight Princess. I watched Twilight Princess a lot. And I like Minda as a character. She was hilarious. But I never played it, so my favorite is probably the Ocarina of Time, which I did play.
But yeah, Wind Waker is really good. It gets a lot of shit. I think it's honestly one of the best Zelda games. It's one of the most fun ones. Like they were super deep into like world.
That one looks fun.
It had a really good world exploration for being like on the GameCube and like I don't know, like not exactly like newer. It's older.
It's definitely not.
It's like old enough to have gotten remastered a couple times. It's like
it was on the DS, and then I think they even put it on the Wii. I don't know if they've remastered it for the Switch yet.
But Tears of the Kingdom's really good. It's a really fun chill game. Like the people that go through these games and like beat them in a day. Like honestly, I'm just like, you just don't play games to have fun.
I don't like no-lifing games anymore.
I mean, honestly, even that, like, it's just like this game. Like people would go through and like, there's people that have 100% of the game in like 2 days, and like that's like 1,000 Koroks.
Why would you do that?
It's like 1,000 Korok seeds you have to get on top, because they're probably doing it for YouTube content. That's probably exactly what it is. It's like, I
mean, I understand if you're a speedrunner like Small Ant and shit,
but
right?
a speedrunner is not a 100%er. They don't 100% the game. They just find the fastest way to beat the game.
Well, there's like 100% completion speedruns.
Yeah, but you ain't getting all 1,000 Korok seeds in 2 days. And if you're just like,
I don't know the exact number, but I think they did it in under 8 hours for the original Breath of the Wild 100%
that just takes all the fucking fun out of the game. Like I don't like you paid $70 to basically like I don't know. Like what was the point in paying for the game? You might as well just like watch someone play it at that point, because you're not taking in any of the story. Like you're not taking any of the gameplay. You're just like you're probably like skipping cutscenes, like trying to find ways like to skip over areas and shit. Like this is not fun. Granted, like I don't think collecting Korok seeds in that game is very fun. It fucking sucks
at all.
That shit. Like I really hope like people say there's 1,000 in this game. I really hope there's a better reward than what was in Breath of the Wild. Because oh my god,
what was the reward?
It was literally just a golden poop. It was a golden poop trophy.
Just a trophy?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what you got for it. Was like 999 Koroks.
Why?
And it was
why?
just a troll. Because like Nintendo doesn't do achievements. Like that's not a thing for them. They don't do achievements or anything like that. There's no point in 100%ing a game on Nintendo. You don't really get any kind of satisfaction for it, to be honest with you.
Unless you're doing it for a job, like speedrunners do that are on YouTube.
Yeah, but then again, a lot of speedrunners will just do the basic like glitch run. You know, like.
Yeah, they can do like glitch runs and shit like that, and they're usually doing multiple kinds of runs in a game.
To be honest, I think that's probably the most popular completion. Is just like people really like seeing glitches, like see what you can do to skip over areas, skip directly to boss fights.
There's like people really like doing 100% glitchless. From what I understand, the most popular watched speedrun content is 100% glitchless, which is where you go 100% through the game, get all of the achievements, all the successes and all that, all the collectibles without doing glitches. And then they like doing, and then immediately after that, there's like stupid shit. Like in Breath of the Wild, there's one to get to one of the female NPC characters' beds called the bedding that character. I don't know their name.
Oh my god.
Speedrun.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Oh man. But yeah, it's really good. I think it's a really good chill game. Like I'm going through it very slowly. You know, I'm still like playing.
I mean, we have to mention the fact that people are building penises in it already.
Oh yeah, it's the TTP, man. The time to penis. It's like you just got to find out how fast you can make.
It was immediate.
You gotta find out how fast you can make dicks out of shit. It's just
what is with Nintendo's like conspiracy to not recognize the fact that any game they make that lets you build in it will have penises immediately.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. They gotta know at this point. They probably just don't care. Because there's no way you're just like, nah, people really aren't gonna start making dicks.
So upset about it. They're always so mad.
Yeah. It's funny, super funny, honestly.
Like with Super Mario Maker, they release statements like, "Please stop making dicks." What is TOTK?
TOTK?
Oh, that's Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Sorry for anyone's wondering about that. Like we kind of lose track of what we want to talk about, so we type up a list of topics we want to talk about in each episode in our Discord.
Something we don't have typed up is I want to talk about this anime I've been watching.
We'll get to that in a minute because I want to jump over to anime. This episode was originally going to be all anime themed, and then there was just hot drops for video games. Just crazy. Like,
oh yeah, like it started with Nicolas Cage and it hasn't stopped since.
Yeah, like it started with just DBD stuff, and I was like, well, we'll talk about that in a different one. And then Mortal Kombat 1 dropped its trailer, which is like
super
the fifth fighting game because Jump Stars also dropped their roster, or it got leaked or something like that. And that's like just 5 like different fights. We got Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8. People count like Dragon Ball Z Budokai 4, which it is technically a fighting game.
It is a fighting game.
But if they're going to do it like the original Budokai, where it's like board game pieces, like where you're like little pieces that hop around the board, and then there's obviously Mortal Kombat 1, and then Jump Stars, which people are just like kind of throwing this game like right under the bus right out of the jump because of like Jump Force came out and it was good for a little bit and then it died off really fast. Oh, hey,
you remembered the name of the first one. It was called Jump Force.
It looked cool and like I imagine it played well. I wasn't super interested in that one honestly, but Jump Stars,
I just don't like the fact that it's probably going to be solely licensed by Jump Productions, and they just do and they're a catering company essentially. They just cater to their audience, which is okay. It works for them, and they do release incredibly good anime and manga, but like I want to see other people in there.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do like the Mortal Kombat where you just throw in random characters from different universes.
That would be cool as fuck, and I would buy Jump Stars for just if they did that.
But it's like the roster seems huge already. It's like, let me just read out some of the characters that we got.
I mean, like, who wouldn't want to see Rimuru in there? I don't know if anyone knows who Rimuru is.
I would hope so.
I
haven't honestly watched all of Reincarnated Little Slime, but I know who Rimuru is.
It's so good. Like, there's not a lot of fighting in it, but like the fighting scenes aren't dynamic because they're not supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be like he's the main character, and you're supposed to know he's the main character.
Yeah. So to go through
like,
some of the
it's super good. I just love
to go through some of the verses, I guess that'll be included in here for the most part. As far as the leaks go, we got like Naruto, obviously Dragon Ball, One Piece. You know, you gotta.
It's probably going to be all. It's probably going to be all three of the.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if Bleach isn't in there.
Bleach is
somewhere.
next, yeah. Which I'm hoping
it'll be the original, which is Dragon Ball. 90% of the West started anime through Dragon Ball. That's why it's the original.
Yeah,
and then the big three, which is Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And then they'll probably have like Attack on Titan characters and stuff.
Yeah, it's I'm really hoping they go with like 1,000-Year Blood War arc. I really hope they have those Bleach characters, and that'd be pretty dope.
I do too, and I really hope they do that they don't do Boruto. I really, really hope, but I know my hope is in vain because they're going to have that little shit stain in the game.
As far as this list goes, for the most part, Naruto is just the basics, like the original Naruto characters, like, you know, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Itachi, Hinata, Guy, Gaara, Tobi, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, Minato,
I would be
and
fine
Pain.
with the other characters from Boruto. I just don't like Boruto as a character.
I played a lot.
He's a shit
I played
stain.
Slaughter a lot. God, what fighting game was that? Or
It's probably Jump Force.
No, it wasn't. It was. I didn't play Jump Force. I was not interested. It was one of the more recent Naruto games. I played Slaughter a lot, and that was
Shinobi's.
No, not Strikers. That was I didn't play Shinobi Strikers either. I don't care for PvP. I really don't. I feel like it sucks so much fun out of the game, especially a game like Naruto. Like I liked Ultimate Ninja Storm. Were definitely peak like anime games. Those are amazing. But
yeah. I liked playing the Naruto game, the Naruto Ninja Storm games for their stories because they always had like their own minor stories you could watch and get lore from.
I like destroying my palms with the fact that when you clash in the first, I think it's the first two Ultimate Ninja Storms, you got like go fucking crazy on the joysticks.
Yeah, and then in 3 they introduced the substitution jutsu where if you button mash fast enough, you can substitute away from every attack.
It's so much fun. It's just. But going back to the list, so we got JoJo, obviously, because JoJo is just crazy hype right now. Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm surprised they're doing Hunter x Hunter.
I'm surprised they're actually including some of the characters in here.
I mean, it is kind of coming back into relevance, but like it fades every once in a while.
I expected Gon and Killua and Hisoka and Kurapika, but I did not expect them to include the Oreo in there and Biscuit. And I could have seen Kite, but I don't know. I didn't expect Biscuit in that list.
I'm surprised they're doing Kite because like the man had 2 episodes of screen time.
Yeah, but he looked dope. Like he looked like he
did. Like he looked amazing, but he had 2 episodes of screen time. There was the only connection we had was the fact that Gon had this immediate superficial connection with the man.
What else we got? We got Yu Yu Hakusho, which is a huge W. Thank God.
Yeah, that's super fucking hype.
My Hero Academia. You know, because
we knew that was going to happen.
Everyone's most hated anime.
I don't mind My Hero.
I still like My Hero. Like everyone gives it shit.
I've stopped watching it, but like I loved the first like 2 or 3 seasons.
I need to catch up on 6.
I've seen a bunch of shit about this newest season, the last seasonal arc.
Yeah, it's
for the series, and it looks cool.
It looks really good.
It really
I'm
does.
pretty excited. The whole vigilante arc with Deku, as I know, is something people have been waiting for a while. Arguably, I guess, the best arc throughout My Hero Academia, at least the manga.
Yeah, and it looks great. Yeah. Like, just because I stopped watching it doesn't mean I don't still like it. I love the story and the idea it was trying to portray.
This one's interesting. They got Black Clover in here, but as far as I've seen, the only confirmed characters
it's
just Asta. I don't think Yuno's in there.
I don't like Black Clover. Like, I really, really don't like Black Clover.
I like Black Clover a little bit. I fell out of it around episode.
I watched the first like half of the first season, and I just couldn't.
I fell out of it
so
at about
boring.
like 50 episodes in when I caught up to where the anime was airing, and then I did that thing, you know, where I catch up and then I just don't start back up again for a while. And there was like a whole time skip, and I don't like the way Asta looks after the time skip.
It was so boring. Also, they made this short kid that's like what I think he's like 16 in the show.
I don't even remember, honestly.
He looks like he was built like a brick shit house, and I'm like, Is this what they think attractive is?
Yeah, dude, bro, like literally, that was my first thought. Whenever they did the time skip, I was like, "Oh wow, cool, a time skip." And like, looks essentially the same, but we're awesome. It looks like you. It looks
like he was built by a.
It looks like you took
by a brick worker to be a shit.
It looks like you took Asa's head and you just put it on Yami's body, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like his whole body got bigger, but his head stayed the same size, and I cannot. It bothers the fuck out of me. I'm like, why did you do this?
So bad,
what have you done to my boy?
And I know he was like a super stick at the start, but like, come on.
Yeah, and then Demon Slayer.
It was almost like they did no research at all.
Demon Slayer's next, but
Tanjiro probably
of course.
His two companions, and I hope they put Rengoku in there because he's the best character.
Supposedly, he's at least as far as the league goes, he is on the list right now. And then after that is Yu-Gi-Oh, which is interesting because
wait, what?
Yeah, they did Yu-Gi-Oh and Jump Force.
Oh, do they like summon like characters and the characters fight?
I think Yugi summoned Slifer the Sky Dragon. I don't know if that was his whole thing, was he just fought with Slifer, or if he had his own punches, kicks, or whatever like that.
That'd be weird.
The roster's kind of weird. They're like, you expect obviously Yugimoto and then Seto Kaiba, but after that they go like Yusei from 5Ds. Astro Phoenix.
I can see him doing Yusei doing motorcycle shenanigans.
Astro Phoenix, which wasn't he the main? He's the main villain from 5Ds, right?
No, Astro Phoenix is from Dual Island. He was the guy that did Destiny Heroes.
Oh yeah, that's right. And they don't have my boy Jaden in here. What the fuck?
They have his main rival. Like, that's the guy that pushed him the most, and he's not in there.
No, he's not. Joey's in here, but you didn't include.
Why is Joey in there?
What is up with this list?
It's so fucking weird.
It's so weird.
Bro.
Shit, you might have to just throw goddamn, what the fuck's his name?
Thrown Tristan in there.
What the hell's that guy's name? The guy that wears the American flag bandana.
Oh, Bandit Keith.
Yeah, man, throw Bandit Keith in there. Fuck it. He'd be good in there.
Yeah, go put fucking Aster Phoenix, but not
Jaden.
What
was his Simon?
Jaden was probably Jaden and Yusei were probably the two most athletic people out of all of the main protagonists of Yu-Gi-Oh series.
Instead of Aster, throw fucking what's his name? Simon, the blue-haired guy.
There's a lot of blue-haired guys.
The main one.
You need to give me more than that.
The guy that's in the dorm with him. Hang on, I gotta look up the cast real quick because it's gonna make me mad that I don't remember. Cyrus, that's it. Throw Cyrus's older brother in there, the dude that fucking used cyber creatures. He was badass in the show.
His name too. Kaiser. His nickname was Kaiser.
You had was it? God, it wasn't Sartorius. I'm thinking of the wrong person. Zane
Truesdale.
Oh yeah, I remember who Astro Phoenix, and I see the picture of him. Yeah, I don't understand why. Throw Chaz in there, man. Chaz it up.
Yeah, Chaz it up.
Get him in there, throw him in there, and
he uses my favorite
archetype.
No, my favorite archetype was the armed dragon archetype he used in his first duel.
Well, yeah, I like that, but I'm just for the sake of the game, throw the Ojamas in there. It's just battle buddies.
Oh yeah, he's more iconic for his Ojamas.
Yeah, you have Saint Seiya, which I've
really.
Yeah, Samurai X is on here too. Oh no, Boruto.
I don't know anything about Samurai X. I knew they were going to do that.
Thing.
Yeah, he's probably under the Boruto game.
Death Note's on here.
A series. It's Ryuk, isn't it?
No, it's Light and Misa. And people are saying that they.
Light will probably be controlling.
Yeah, it'll
Ryuk,
probably
and
JoJo,
Misaka will be controlling hers. Yeah.
What the hell is City Hunter? I've never heard of that.
I don't know what City Hunter is. I haven't either.
Hang on. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Wow, this looks old.
It probably is.
It's 2011. No. Oh, that's live action.
You're not. Oh, you looked it on a different screen then.
That's live action. Oh, am I on a different? No, I should be on the. Weird. Sure, this type instead. There we go. Can just click that button right there.
City Hunter. Huh.
It looks. No, I'm guessing maybe it's a fighting
old.
anime.
No, it looks like more like a because that guy's holding a gun. It looks like it was maybe a Cowboy Bebop revolve.
Yeah, but the girl behind him was holding a hammer with 100 on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Haikyuu,
100-ton hammer.
Haikyuu, which is interesting. Like I know Haikyuu's popular, but you're really going to toss like a little volleyball anime in there in a fighting game?
In a fighting game? I mean, they put the
Oh my god,
dual monsters in there.
I really hope this is true. Bo.
Please, please, I will spam nose hairs.
God damn, it's been so long since I've heard that name. That's crazy. That anime is burned into my memory.
Oh yeah, that anime was wild.
Some of these
when
really
I was
seem
younger.
out there. Like The Promised Neverland's on this list too, and I'm just like, I don't know. That one just seems weird to throw
Who
in
are
here.
they putting in there? It's gonna be the main character.
Yeah, well, the main characters: Emma, Yugo, and Sonji.
Can you pull up the list?
I'm doing it on my phone. I couldn't find an accurate list that had all these listed on there online. That's why I'm just doing it on my phone. I saved this video. Fist of the North Star, Dr. Stone. It's another one.
Fist of the North. Okay, so people will finally be able to live out their dreams of having JoJo fight its progenitor in Fist of the North Star.
And then the last two, at least according to this list, which obviously you have to include these two, JJK and Chainsaw Man. You can't have
I don't know what JJK is, but I know what Chainsaw Man is. Oh, okay. No, I understand now.
And as far as that list goes, that's basically everybody.
I'm surprised Cowboy Bebop didn't make it on there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I don't think it's Shonen Jump, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It might not be Shonen Jump.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it looks pretty good. I didn't play the last, I think it was called J Stars was the last,
No, it was we were talking about it earlier.
Well, Jump Force, but before that there was Jump Force was popular, but I know there was another anime type fighting game. I think that also included video game characters that was really popular.
I have no idea.
I think it was called J Stars.
No idea.
I thought it was called J Stars. J Stars Victory Versus? Yeah, I think it was this. Yeah, see, you got going.
That is a long ass name.
It's for the PS3.
We're on PS 5? So it was three generations ago.
It's about time for another PlayStation. It's the PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Actually, they're they're decently old now.
I know. They're 3, I think, this year. They're 3 or 4 this year, I believe.
I believe so. 2021. Or no, wait, no, that's something else.
I don't see it, so I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, it was like 2020, I think, is when they came out. So they're about 3 years old now. But it looks pretty cool. I'll probably at least watch it. I don't know exactly if I'll actually play it.
I'll definitely watch videos about it just to see what kind of story it does and how they're incorporating the characters. But the moment I see them adding non-Shonen Jump characters to it, from cool anime, yeah, I'll probably play it.
I've never been big into fighting games. I like Mortal Kombat for the most part, because it's not incredibly combo heavy for the most part. It's pretty easy to pick up.
I always found Mortal Kombat to be incredibly combo heavy.
I mean, it can be, but it gives you the option where you can just do simple combos and you can still do pretty good against someone who knows the good combos.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely chain small combo chains that just win you the game if you start getting them off.
But out of all of them, I'll probably definitely, out of all the fighting games that are supposed to come out this year that have been announced,
if I play any of them, it'll probably be the J-Star game.
Mine will probably be Mortal Kombat. I don't really care much for Street Fighter. Never really have. Tekken 8 looks pretty dope. I might just play it just to see how the graphics are personally for the fighters.
If there was a Dead or Alive game, I'd probably play that because I got super heavily into the Dead or Alive series.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of different fighting games.
Time ago.
If we were to throw Soul Calibur on this list, Melinda would lose her goddamn mind.
There hasn't been a new Soul Calibur in years.
Yeah, the last one that came out, I don't remember how long ago it was. I got it, pre-ordered it when it came out. Soul Calibur 6. It was pretty cool. But yeah, then
I imagine
I'll probably play Budokai 4. Definitely, at least try it out. Maybe just watch it. I don't know for sure. My hype for
I just don't like any of the newer DBZ stuff myself.
See, my thing is
I watched original Dragon Ball, loved it, and that got me into anime, but I never really enjoyed the rest of it a whole lot.
My thing about it is I really hope they don't fuck it up. Because how long has it been since Budokai 3 came out? It's let's see, came out in 2005.
Where do you see?
Oh no, that was in Japan. Wait, what? It came out in the U.S. first. Interesting.
Yeah. Budokai is an American creation.
Budokai 3 came out in 2004. It has been God, it's been almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And then this is like, this game was so fucking crazy.
Is Tenkaichi a different game, or is
No,
it the same
the full
game?
name is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. They just don't always include the Tenkaichi in the name for some reason.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's like a.
Because I think, or no,
Maybe-
oh no, they are different. Oh, I always thought they were the same thing.
That's what I thought.
Okay, Tenkaichi came out in 2007. Actually, I actually thought those were different. I haven't played these since I was
pretty
like
sure.
little.
Because I was noticing that there were different selections you could make.
Yeah, these are PlayStation 2 era games. Like I haven't played these in so long, so forgive me if my memory on that was a little scarce. But yeah, it's still though, that's still 16 years. That's fucking crazy to wait that long for a game. From another sequel. And as far as I know, I really hope they're going to go the route where they include everything in Super as well. Not just like, because obviously, I mean, these are older games, came out in 2007, so they only went up to about the Boo arc, and that was basically it.
Yeah, they went, from what I'm reading there, it says they went up to the Boo saga, and then they did movie specials.
Yeah, they did do some GT, which arguably I think is the best Dragon Ball series out of them.
They're still releasing new Dragon Balls, right?
Yeah, they're on Heroes now. Dragon Ball Heroes is the newest one. I think that one's all like a whole What If series, which is really cool for Dragon Ball. It's pretty cool to see.
Okay.
But yeah, before that it was Super, and then before that, I don't even know what they did before that one. I think it was still just Dragon Ball Z.
I have no idea.
But
there was Kai, but no one likes remembering Kai.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kai. I liked cutting out all the filler. But I think Kai was only for Dragon Ball, right? Not Dragon Ball Z.
No, it was Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Was it?
Dragon Ball hasn't had a remake. Like the original Dragon Ball series has not had a remake.
But I'm pretty excited for that.
When Goku was a little kid and stuff. Yeah, that hasn't been remade yet, as far as my information is relevant.
I think a lot of people are pretty hyped for that one. That's going to be a pretty solid game.
I bet. I know Dragon Ball fans are. I have another Dragon Ball friend. He's absolutely ecstatic.
Because then it's one of those situations where like you cannot fuck up a sequel that has taken this long to be made. You will destroy the entire series if you fuck up this sequel.
Well, you'll destroy your reputation, definitely.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with like a lot of these too. Like it kind of ruins the whole like series of games for a lot of people, because it's just like so much hype behind a sequel to a game for it to like add characters that you've always wanted, to fix issues that maybe the previous games had, and then like it comes out and it doesn't do any of that. And now
they had their mobile game release.
Yeah. And then, well, that's different. That's not the Budokai series. That's there's a couple of different ones actually. I've played quite a bit of them. There's Dokkan Battle. There's I don't know what the other one that came out. The one that I think is better, because Dokkan Battle is really just kind of like a card. You collect a lot of character cards. There is like little models of them that do fight, but like the other one that I'm thinking of, I think it's Dragon Ball Z Legends. That's the one where it's actually like a fighter. You do it on your phone. Like you can do your dashes, you charge your key, you do your special attacks, stuff like that. You have teams, you fight. It's really good. It's literally like playing Dragon Ball Z on a phone, just on a phone. It's really smooth. It's not bad. I'm just not super into Dragon Ball Z.
Before we switch off of video games, there's one more thing we have to talk about.
Lords of the Fallen.
That game looks fucking cool as fuck.
And to anyone listening, we're talking about the newer Souls-like games come out. There is another Lords of the Fallen game on Steam.
That's old as hell.
Is it really that old? I thought it was wasn't it like 2017 or something like that? Or maybe
it's more than 5 years old.
I mean, that's not old as hell for me personally, but like this one's supposed to be fully seamless co-op. I'm super excited about that. We still got to go through at some point. I want you to go through and play Elden Ring with me with the co-op mod, because that one I think they have.
I don't know if it's multiplayer, but if I play Elden Ring with you and it's multiplayer, then you have to play a Sims game. I was playing not Sin, like SIN.
Okay, I was about to say I'm not playing The Sims. I can't.
No.
Oh, I will.
It's a Souls-like game that gets harder the more bosses you kill, and you get weaker as you kill them.
That sounds like a game I would just play in general.
But Lords of the Fallen, the game looks cool as hell.
I'm super excited. I've been getting pretty deep into more Souls-like games lately, and it's just like Elden Ring was fantastic. I went through.
You talk about Elden Ring a lot, and I've seen, and this game scares me because, like, I've sent you videos, and we've talked about this before. I've sent you videos of people getting into like parrying fights or deflecting fights or dodging fights or whatever, and it looks like I'm watching an anime straight off of Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's the way you can go about that. Honestly, that's kind of taking the easier route for the most part. And me personally, like, it's hard to learn to parry, like, but once you get it down, it just kind of puts the game in easy mode. It was the same thing when the game first came out with Magic. Magic was super overpowered. It was so overpowered to the point where people could get their spells so strong that they could one-shot bosses, like late game bosses. It was great, and then they finally nerfed it. But like that kind of stuff is like, it's cool that you can do powers like that, but it kind of takes away from like I'm not a big Dark Souls fan. Like I'm not a big Souls game fan. Like, you know, but like Elden Ring really got me into it to the point where I was going through, and there's like 200 bosses in the game, and I was going through and I was individually trying to look for and find all of them just because I wanted to collect all the items and just like, you know, fight the bosses.
Did you ever successfully beat the tutorial boss without dying?
I never went back and did that. That's just, I don't know.
Well, you don't get the special short swords unless you beat them in the tutorial.
Yeah, but I might have done that once. I never beat all 200 plus bosses. I got to like around 200 or more of them, and that other games just came out, and I just stopped playing. But that's a game I would definitely go back and pick up again. The game is like so replayable for a lot of people that they're modding the crap out of it, and some of those are just crazy. Like
well, the moment you get a mod community, you know your game has made it because it means it's going to be replayable as hell without you having to do anything.
I want to go through at some point and do the random encounter mods. Like that is insane. Where it's just like,
but what if you run into the big bitch without help?
Oh, Millennia?
While you only have a basic sword.
You talking about Millennia?
Yes.
There's a mod for that game where all the NPCs are just replaced by Millennia. Every enemy in the game is just Millennia.
Oh God!
Like I think it was Let Me Solo Her went through and he played that mod the whole way through.
Oh my God! He posts videos now.
Yeah, I don't know if he does a whole lot of them, but the clip I seen, he was at least wearing the getup for Let Me Solo Her, like the pot, and, you know,
no armor, nothing, just a pot on the head.
It was just like literally every enemy was just Millennia. There was like 5 Millennias fighting him at one point. I'm just like, oh my God!
Did you see what they added to the pot's description?
No.
It is. It's a tribute to him. It's something along like the lines of a great warrior once wore this as his only protection against the fight against true evil or some shit. I mean,
they might as well. Like that dude arguably did one of the hardest things to do in that game. Solo.
Learn to solo the hardest boss in the game.
And then he just kept doing it. It's like one thing to do it once, but you should.
I don't know if he's still doing it, but I know at the time of when I learned about him, he had been doing it for like a year at the time.
I imagine what he's probably doing. I imagine he's a streamer, or he's like he'd streamed for a little bit.
He used his own hype to become even more popular.
Because people are going to come in there and they're going to be like, you know, like, how'd you get into this? Like, what's your build exactly? Stuff like that. And people just like seeing people absolutely shit on hard bosses. Like there's
especially someone who's shit on you multiple times. Yeah,
there's the other guy. I can't remember what his name is right off. But he goes through and he does the no hit runs. And like in all the Dark Souls games, he does the no hit runs, and he's, oh my God, it's so crazy to watch, and you're just like, how is this even possible? And most times he
moves so fast.
And a lot of times you'd be like, oh, well, he just probably plays his boss like a shit ton of times. But it's like, no, he goes in, he can beat a lot of bosses in the first try with no damage. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you do this? Like, you have no knowledge of this. Like, as far as I know, like, I don't think he's watching videos and tutorials about it beforehand and then going into the boss fight. He's just going in and being like, okay, well, I fought these kinds of bosses before. Like, this is probably like the kind of kit they use. They're probably weak to this and kind of stuff like that. And then
that's an insane knowledge gap.
That's an insane skill to have. Like that absolutely destroys any kind of like professional like FPS player.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about Lords of the Fallen, but the couple of trailer videos I've watched of it makes it look really cool.
Basically, like, I mean, this is kind of how people describe a lot of these like challenging games now. Is like it's like Dark Souls, like where it's like you die, you lose your shit, you got to go back, fight them again, stuff like that. And like never-ending cycle of you just getting pummeled into the dirt, you know. But it looks really good. Like, it looks really good. And then the fact it's supposed to have seamless co-op on launch, it's just super amazing to me because that's one thing that From Software is not doing, which I think would skyrocket their game. If they were to go back to like Dark Souls 1 and 2 and somehow integrate seamless co-op into those games would blow up in popularity again.
I mean, they do, but only with mods.
Yeah. Well, not all of them. It's not like seamless co-op. Like even with
they just have co-op.
Even with co-op in Elden Ring, it's not seamless co-op. It's not like there's still issues with it.
No, it's that whole like ghost thing and invading shit that you have to worry about and stuff.
But that's basically it for as far as video games go. As far as this week, this couple weeks. But
for anime, I only got like a couple of things I've gotten into.
I got a couple
recently.
things that I can say for anime. I didn't think we'd actually have this much time to get into the anime side of things. But just a quick update, I guess, on what I'm watching. Give me an update on what you're watching right now, and then I'll give you mine.
I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. It's pretty cool.
I think that's new, right? That's like past couple weeks just released kind of thing. Or no?
Yeah. It's not even finished yet. It's not even finished releasing yet.
God, as far as updates go, because we haven't done this in a while, it's like I've finished Bofree season 2, which I know that's kind of like a little behind on that train. I think that ended a while ago, but God, that is such...
Just like you, I have the same problem of like, I watch something and then trying to pick it up later after I'm waiting for it. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. If you're coming to the podcast and mainly hear about anime, you will hear about it, but it might be a little late as opposed to like other people. It's just because we kind of do this thing where we want to wait for a good amount of episodes to come out and then binge watch it all at once instead of watching once per week. Because we have this nasty habit of getting into a routine, and then once we can't perform that routine, then we just fall out of the show and we just never pick it back up. I've done that with so many animes and I regret it, but it's just I don't know. But like I there are a couple that I have started and are trying to keep up with right now, which is definitely Deathmount Death Play, which is pretty good.
I got you into that. I'm so glad you like it.
I like it, but it's not the perfect thing for me. Like I think it's okay.
I never said it was. I just thought it was cool.
I like the twist at the beginning, and all that stuff. But the rest of the anime is it's all right. It's not anything too crazy for me. Like the fight scenes aren't super ridiculous. But the last episode I did to leave off in that's a pretty good cliffhanger for another villain or good guy that's in the show. It has I don't know yet exactly, but it looked pretty.
I don't know what episode you're on.
Basically, the one where they run in. Let me just say, like, without giving too many spoilers, the one where they run into the two police guys in the club, and then the guy.
Yes, yeah. That's the good shit right there.
That one I'm pretty hyped for.
I love that character. And he's the good shit I see in the antagonists.
Yeah. But there's that. There's Heavenly Delusion, which you've been asking me about. That I think that one is also still airing.
Yes.
Very good show though. Like it's very confusing to follow for the most part. Like the story's good and it kind of leaves you with like these whole like because there's like two different plot points playing out at the same time, and you're trying to figure out if they're connected or if it's like one's past, one's present. If they're both present and they're just separate, like it's kind of confusing. But the story is really good. The animation is really nice. Like I don't know why as I'm watching it, I'm just like this is just very satisfying to watch because a lot of anime is really like it's like hard colors is the only way I can really describe it. Like if you can compare it to something like Demon Slayer has good animation and like but the colors are so vibrant and like the edges of the like basically the characters or whatever are so sharp that it's almost like jarring, if you know what I mean. But it's not like a Ghibli movie where like it seems like the characters, the way they're animated or drawn, it's like they feel soft. They look soft. It's very it's very pleasing to the eye. It sends you into like this sense of like calmness when you're watching it.
The one on Hulu and Disney.
I think it's only on Hulu. I think it's because I think Disney owns Hulu now, so I think that's why people were like, "Oh, it's on Disney." Because I guess they're changing it now to where Hulu and Disney are going to be the same app. They're like integrating into each other, apparently.
And then there's Hell's Paradise, which that anime is stunningly beautiful. Yeah, that one is
very satisfying to. It's very cool to watch. The fights and that are really good, and like the
I love when he catches himself on fire.
The world is arguably
so fucking cool.
The world is arguably more interesting to me than the characters are. The world
100%.
in that one is very, very beautiful. For the
My favorite character is a side character who we've had, I think, probably 10 minutes of screen time total.
I'm trying to think of who you're thinking of.
Oh, it's the girl that was born in the mountains.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Her only crime that she committed was that she didn't pay taxes to the feudal lord.
Yeah, the ultimate crime.
That's my favorite character because I like her story and it expanded the world. She's my favorite character.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Gabimaru, the main character. He's very much the typical I don't know what to do, I'm so sad edgy protagonist guy.
Yeah.
And like I get enough of that, and like he's cool, don't get me wrong, that's why I like anime, but
yeah, I agree with you on that.
You know.
But yeah, that's as far as that. I think it's just those four for me. As far as like when I finished the other three, I'm still watching as they're going on. But going back to like Bofuri though, like honestly, top tier isekai for me. Like I know that's like a kind of hot take, but it's so just fun to watch.
Still not an isekai.
What's up?
It's still not an isekai.
Oh yeah.
They don't get transferred to another world.
Yeah, but isekai.
The definition of an isekai. I know it's classified as an isekai. Don't get me wrong, but it's not an isekai because they don't get transferred to another world.
Yeah, but I mean the basic. It's the term's used very loosely at this point. It's like going to a different world instead of just being.
No, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it, but like
isekai as a genre is just so oversaturated, and a lot of the anime is just not good.
Yeah. Do you remember that anime about the guy getting isekai'd into a video game with his mom?
No.
Yeah, him and his mom get voluntarily sign up to get isekai'd into this video game world. It's like called something like My Isekai Life with My Overpowered 2-Hit Combo Mom or some shit like that.
No, I haven't heard. Do you know, speaking of children, do you know of Problem Children Are Coming from Another Dimension? Do you know that one?
Yeah, I do. I remember watching that originally. I actually quite like that.
I wish they'd bring that one back for another season.
There was a small sniff of a second season that they were thinking about, and then it was dropped because the animation company went under, and I was devastated at the time. This happened about 8 months ago.
A lot of like anime that I think, as far as the isekai genre goes, that I think are really good, don't get a second season. Like like the one I'm showing you right now, Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions. I don't know if you've seen this one or not. It's really
I have. Really good. Remember we had this whole talk about we conversated about this one.
It's making a resurgence though. Like I'm seeing people throw this in their anime list for some of their favorite isekais, and like I've never.
It was 100% ahead of its time because Grimgar came out well before the isekai genre kicked off, and it did something later isekai just never did. It really got into the nitty gritty of what it would really be like to transfer into a world like D&D or a video game world.
Yeah. Came out in 2016, so it's not super old. It's honestly a little newer than I thought it was. I thought it was older than this.
Yeah, it's not old, but it's just like isekai is a fairly new thing that didn't really get popular until after SAO's first season really died down in its hype. And then other animation companies started picking it up.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not like the guy on the bandwagon of like, SAO is terrible, but I've never been a huge fan of it. I really liked the first season.
I have my favorite characters. I liked the first season.
I think the first season was really
like the end of the first season.
Yeah,
but like it was fine.
I think it was a really good.
And I liked Gun Gale.
Yeah.
Gun Gale was cool.
I think it like shot kind of isekai up in popularity for a while, and it kind of helped.
It was definitely an artificial increase in popularity for isekai, and then isekai got the market for isekai anime got saturated.
But like I like that. Alfheim was okay. Gun Gale was really cool. I like because like the whole thing about SAO.
I like shooty bang bang.
The whole thing about SAO is like for me is like after they get out of the world the first time and they go back in, and like he goes back in. I know he goes back in for Asuna, like in Alfheim because she's like stuck there. But it's just like the whole like nonchalantly going back into a world that
like he didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
Like he just spent what was it, like 3 years or some shit like that?
Yeah.
6 years or some shit in this world and he was very close to dying and constantly.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm ready to jump right back into Saber.
But for Kirito, I guess it kind of makes sense because he has a reason to go back because he spent so much time with the person. But for everyone else, like there's other people that were in the original like world and they went back.
Yeah,
and I'm like, are y'all like fucking insane? And like, but yeah, like it was just really weird to me. And then like we got to Gun Gale and I was like, well, at least
what was I saying?
We were talking about Alfheim with like everyone else going back into the world. And
Right. I am a chronic video game addict, but like if that happened to me once full dive technology becomes real, because it's probably going to happen, let's be honest here, there ain't no way I'm immediately jumping back into it.
But yeah, it's like, and then it goes back into Gun Gale, and I'm like, at least Gun Gale made sense because like they were doing it for actual
it was
money,
completely different.
Like they were actually going in and they were actually playing for
and
money.
it wasn't the same kind of game. It wasn't a fantasy game.
Yeah. And like
it was very much like a steampunk sci-fi thing.
But then people are saying like Alicization is like it's like peak SAO, and I'm like, I don't like, because they're on like, are they on like 3 seasons of this show now? Like Alicization?
So there's SAO, there's Alfheim, then there's Gun Gale. I don't think there was a season in between that. So yeah, Alicization is the 4th season.
No, I think what I'm saying is like
you mean in Alicization? Yeah, I think they're on arc 3 in it.
3 arcs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's still going, right?
Yes, I think so. I don't know if they're releasing anything right now, but I'm pretty sure they're still in the Alicization.
I just don't think I could jump back into SAO at this point. Like I said, I don't hate the show.
So I know how the series ends.
Yeah.
Because the light novels are finished. There's like 13 light novels. And there's like I think there's one more digital world they have to enter for it to end. I don't believe Alicization is the last digital world. I could be wrong though, because it's been a long time since I've read about it.
I'm hoping with all
I didn't read it thoroughly.
I'm hoping with all the hype behind Alicization that like I'm hoping the final world is like, lives up to expectations, because goddamn.
So like and this isn't really like a spoiler, because when they get to it's very apparent like what the gimmick of that world is like the limit. So like in every world he's been in so far, he's strong because he's a gamer, right?
Yeah.
And in this world, it's a lot like Alicization. The people that live in it have had a hard cap on how much they can chain their skills, and that's always been three slashes.
Oh, okay.
And that for that book, it was all about the fact that he could do more, which I think he gets up to like 6 or 7. And in SAO he could do like the 64 hit combo Starstream burst shit. Yeah, I think he gets up to like 6 combos, which is supposed to be impossible. 4 was supposed to be impossible.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up there as like one of the better animes, like one of the really popular ones, but I just don't think I could hop back into it right now.
If they keep the same ending, I'm for it, because it's pandering to my inner nerd who has watched isekai for so long and is complete, and just like anime in general, and is completely disappointed in how they end.
Yeah. It's actually not.
I don't know. I won't say it unless you want me to say it. So
I'd leave that out of the podcast. It's surprisingly not even in the top 50 as far as anime goes. I figured it would be pretty up there. I don't think. Yeah, I don't personally. Well, SAO in general, I don't personally think it should be that high, but a lot of people kind of do. Bleach. I haven't looked at the list in a while, and apparently Fullmetal Alchemist has taken its spot back as the #1 anime. But Bleach has moved up to the second spot.
Long time again. It got ahead of Steins Gate. Holy shit!
Yeah, the Southern Year Blood War, arc at least.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the original.
Yeah, Oshinoko has dropped down to 12.
They're just releasing. I think they just released another like hour-and-a-half long episode. It's just a lot to take in when you watch one of those.
Yeah, I haven't even started it yet. I want to, but it's like the first episode is like an hour and 20 minutes or something. It's like a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, they're like the same length as movies for each episode. It's just
like sitting.
And I think they're either on 2 or 3 at this point.
I have very little time and too many kids for this, man.
And it's not like something you could sit down and watch with the family. It's like a nitty gritty anime, from what I understand.
Really? That makes.
It's got like so the idea behind it is to shed light on the nitty gritty and horrible lifestyles of that
being an idol.
Idols go through in Japan.
Yeah, it sounds really good from
Oh yeah, it sounds really cool, and it's got like that mysticism in it that I really enjoy in anime.
Pretty stoked for it. I'll definitely give that a shot at some point when I actually have enough time to sit down and watch it.
Same.
But yeah, like that's as far as I really have for like anime topics. I don't think there's anything really new coming out. Like I'm seeing the whole like Power Rangers anime being resurged around again, even though that got announced forever ago.
Power Rangers anime?
Yeah, it's literally Evil Power Rangers. What's the name of it?
Oh, is it about the dude that it's a setting one where they're like
not
the
that one.
Leader falls in love with
a different one. It's actually like full on Power Rangers, where basically the whole synopsis I've heard of it, which I don't know if this is like actually the real synopsis or not, but basically you know how they have in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers they have, I don't know what the hell they're called, the clay dudes that always get summoned, the gray guys that they fight, you know?
Yeah.
Like
they go by many different names. My favorite was always Tickers.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
That was during the Time Force era when they were made of clock parts.
Yeah, but so it's basically like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but basically, from what I understand, the whole thing is staged. Like them defeating these things are staged. They're not actually like killing them; they're defeating them, but they have them basically trapped as prisoners. Where whenever they want more of like fame or to get recognized, the Power Rangers bring them back out. They release them, and then they fight them again and defeat them, and they're like now they're heroes. And it's like this whole thing where like they're actually like evil people, and then eventually
they sound like douches.
Yeah, I guess the Tickers break out and actually start wreaking like, I don't know if it's like real havoc on the world or if they're just trying to get their revenge on the Rangers, but like it sounds really cool. And like the tone of it when you see it animated looks pretty dope.
Is it out yet?
I don't think it's out yet. No, I don't think it's found. I don't even think they have a release date for it yet. Going back real quick, I forgot about a game that I want you to look at on Steam. It's called Friends versus Friends, and it comes out the 30th. And it is a deck building PvP based game, and it looks super fun. It's online.
Friends
it's like
versus Friends.
I'm pretty sure it's just like a battle arena. It's like you play with your friends or people online. You just PvP, but it's like you have like different characters and cards that have different abilities, which is a thing I've been seeing a lot.
This content may not be appropriate for all ages, or may not be appropriate for viewing at work.
It's a thing I've been seeing a lot and kind of get more popularity lately, where it's like these games that are like you're actually going through and like fighting things like actively, but you also have hands full of cards that you activate that give you like different abilities and shit like that along the way. There was like this game, I can't remember what it was called. Anyone who's listening to this probably hear me describe it, they'll probably know what I'm talking about. I think it's fairly new.
This is another one that reminds me of Borderlands.
Yeah, but it was like a game where it was like you.
Also, what is that robot game called again?
RoboQuest?
Yeah, that game is awesome.
The game is super fun. But the game I'm thinking of was like I seen it and I kind of wanted to play it, but I never got around to it. And the basic point of it was like it was kind of like parkouring, but you would also fight enemies as you're parkouring, like along the way. But you would pull out these cards that I think would give you like different jump mechanics, like weapons, all kinds of stuff like that. It was really cool looking. I think it was like a big thing for the speedrunning community as well. I think I had it on my wish list at one point, but I honestly don't remember if it's still there or not. But it looks super dope. Yeah. And I get like a lot of those kinds of vibes from this game, but it's just, I'm not super big into PvP.
My only worried about this game is that from what I'm seeing of it, there might already be a solved meta.
I hope not. Well, that's why I think it's one of those games that you don't play to play it online. I think you play it to play with your friends and just have fun with your friends.
If there's like a story we can just go through, then I'm hyped for it.
I don't know if there's a story. I don't know. It's just online co-op online PvP.
Not really like a story, but like almost like Slay the Spire, where it has like. It's a roguelike.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That would be pretty nice. I could see it just being...
I'd rather not, because like I'm seeing just a lot of PvP with it.
Yeah, I could see it just being straight up just PvP. Like I might... It's supposedly supposed to only be $10 when it comes out, so I might still try it or at least watch some videos on it. And
yeah. I'm up for trying it.
Kind of go from there. Speaking of roguelikes, though, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't checked in a while, but last time I checked, there was nothing new about Blight.
I really hope it doesn't die.
I really hope not too. Like, I don't know if it was I don't know if it was a Kickstarter or anything like that.
Not as far as I know.
Yeah, Blight Survival. I'm really hoping this doesn't die out because this would be super sad. This game looks amazing.
What do they got? What are they talking about?
I don't know. I just haven't seen anything since. The last thing that got posted about it looks like March 31st, 2023. I don't know if that's a like someone talking about the game releasing though.
I can look it up in Steam real quick.
I imagine it still hasn't got a release date yet. Yeah, I still know. God damn. Unfortunately, I could definitely see it going under because I think it's also the studio's first game.
Yeah, and that happens,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it looks so good, though. It's just like, if anyone who's wondering...
Yeah, they might have just bit off more than they can chew.
Yeah, if anyone who's wondering about this, you could look up Blight Survival on Steam. And it's a roguelike game. It's supposed to have full like online co-op, but it basically looks like if you took For Honor, gave it more of a story, and then turned it into a co-op roguelike. It just looks like it has those kinds of like old medieval like night vibes to
So
it.
at the end of last month, they made an announcement that they hit the milestone of 650,000 wish lists, which means Steam starts endorsing the game.
Oh,
right?
I didn't realize. I don't even have that game wish. I just wishlisted it on Steam. I didn't have it wishlisted.
Mm-hmm. And that let them expand their team for it. So at the moment, they don't really seem like they're going to drop it, but you know,
that's cool. I hope not. This would definitely be like my daily driver kind of game for sure.
Yeah, as long as it's not like super short, I can see myself diving
as long
into
as
it
it's not
multiple
like Raven's
times.
Watch.
Like, I still play Raven's Watch.
I have not. I just don't know what to do. Like, obviously, you could level your characters. Like, that would be okay. But
I think there's more characters to unlock in it.
Maybe at some point we'll stream it because I don't think we've streamed Raven's Watch on the channel yet, have we?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, I would be down.
I haven't even streamed it yet.
I'd be down to stream it again, but I'd probably just pick a character and try to max them out before the new content comes out. But if the new content's just a character,
I mean, I maxed out Little Red, so
I'm hoping that they've announced some more stuff about it soon. It's really sad when a lot of games that look good just end up like not coming out because the studio goes under or something.
Yeah, they die.
Yeah.
But this looks like it's also a pie cut from it, so I don't know if I ever explained what a pie cut is.
I don't know exactly. Maybe not.
So a pie cut is where they take an unfinished game, find the section of it, cut that section out, super polish that section of the game, and use that for the gameplay videos.
Ooh, another thing I forgot about. I haven't really watched gameplay. I've seen like short little snippets of it, but a game that's blowing up all over, like, I'll go ahead and wrap this up, but a game that's doing pretty popular right now and making its rounds on social media, and that is Starship Troopers.
Yep, I was aware of it, wanted to play it, but it never showed out the money to play it.
It looks pretty cool, like it's like base building and stuff like that, and then it just seems like it's like wave based.
Starship Troopers tactics, right?
No, it's Starship Troopers Extermination.
Extermination.
Yeah, it just came out the 17th this month.
Mm-hmm. It was on Epic for pre-purchase and beta testing.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I've seen the clips circling around. It's $25 on Steam right now, but it looks pretty good. I have to give that a try.
Like I said, I just haven't shelled out the money for it.
Yeah, well, that'll be the end of this one, everybody. Well, if you like these kinds of videos, be sure to check out. I mean, should already be on the page, but be sure to check out our gaming content if you're into that kind of stuff. We do a
lot of the games we talk about, we end up playing on stream together.
Our main content focus is definitely roguelikes or Souls-like games. So kind of our bread and butter. That'll be the games we usually stream. We're streaming right now just because we just don't have the time to sit down and record specific videos.
Yeah,
I would like to eventually get into reviewing roguelike games, but I'd have to get we'd have to get a certain following for that first for me to really be able to set aside the time for it. But if you like this kind of stuff, as far as this goes, this is our podcast. We kind of give our takes on anime and gaming news or new things coming out that we're interested in. And
just generally our personal opinions on things, whether that be what youth believe or not. And a lot of them are kind of salty for some people. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
If you like this kind of content, though, and you have, if you have any of your own personal hot takes that you would like us to talk about on the channel and one of these podcasts, be sure to leave a comment down below and let us know what yours is or what you think we should talk about next. And that'll be it for this one. We'll see you guys in the next one.